Southburg, Speaker of the House and Chair of the Council. Welcome. First item on the agenda is call to order.
Senator McCabe is absent. Senator Thibodeau.
Here.
Senator Thibodeau is here. Senator Jackson.
Here.
Senator Jackson here. Senator Goodall.
Here.
Senator Goodall here. Representative Willette.
Here.
Representative Willette here. Representative Fredette.
Here.
Representative Fredette is here. Representative McCabe.
Here.
Representative McCabe is here. Representative Berwick.
Here.
Representative Berwick is here. Mr. President.
Present.
Mr. President is here. Mr. Speaker.
Present.
Mr. Speaker is here. You have a quorum.
Great. The next item is a summary of the December 6, 2012 meeting of the Legislative Council.
Those minutes are being prepared now. We're not quite ready for a vote, so they'll be ready at the next meeting.
Great. The next item is old business. Item number 1, establishment of an initial salary for constitutional officers and state auditor, table December 6, 2012. Chair recognizes President Alfond.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I propose, I'd like to make a motion that the Legislative Council establish the initial salary for the Attorney General at step 5 of salary grade 91. The initial salaries for the State Auditor at step 5 of the salary grade 89. And the initial salaries for the Secretary of State and the State Treasurer at step 3 of salary grade 88 in accordance with the statutes that are on pages 1 and 2.
Motion made. Chair recognizes Senator Jackson.
I'll second that.
Motion and second has been made. Before we open it up to discussion, I would like to first say that we are grateful for the service and dedication of our constitutional officers. They obviously bring extensive experience and expertise to the legislature and to the people of Maine. After careful consideration and consultation with our members, we've determined it is appropriate and reasonable to set the salaries for the constitutional officers at the initial rate as prescribed in the Executive Director's Memo dated December 6th on page 1 and 2. We're grateful to them, the constitutional officers, for returning to service, and we will rely on their wisdom and experience as we move forward. Open for discussion. Representative Fredette.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to thank the Speaker for the recommendation. I wholly support the recommendation, and I also would like to thank the constitutional officers. We all are here to do the work of the public, and we all undertake this with the public knowledge of generally what it is that we come in knowing what we have to do, and I appreciate the thoughtfulness in the way that we're progressing on this.
Any other discussion? All those in favor? All those opposed?
It's unanimous, 9-0.
Second item is establishment of initial salary for Clerk of the House and Secretary of the Senate. Chair recognizes Representative Barry.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, I move that the Legislative Council establish the initial salaries of the Secretary of the Senate and the Clerk of the House at step 2 of salary grade 14 of the Legislature salary schedule in accordance with state law.
Motion made. Representative McCabe.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I second that motion.
Motion's been made and seconded. And again, before I open it up to discussion, what I said about the constitutional officers certainly goes for the House and Clerk and the Secretary of the Senate. Many years of experience will help guide this institution in a way that has been for so many years. So we appreciate their service and their return to service. Open up to discussion. Representative Fredette.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Again, I would like to thank the Chair and the motion in regards to the recommendation. We again look forward to working with the constitutional officers and the Clerk of the House and the Clerk of the Senate, and we look forward to progressing with our work here in the Council. I'll support the motion. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Call for a vote. All those in favor? All those opposed?
Unanimous, 9-0.
That takes care of the old business. Moving on to new business. Item number 1. proposal by Maine Public Broadcasting Network for a television channel covering Maine legislature. And today we have with us Mark Vogelzang, who is here to brief us on this project. Welcome. Before you begin to educate us about this, what I have heard about the proposal in terms of transparency and the ability for people to tune in at home, I think is a great idea, and I look forward to hearing more about it.
Thank you, Fredette. And thank you for inviting me here today. Thank you for making time on your agenda for this. What we're proposing is something that's working title being called the State House Channel, which, if you agree, would be the first ever statewide broadcast access to the legislature in Maine. And we think that this is an idea that has been worked on for some time, but with MPBN's renewed focus on continuing public affairs coverage and the timing for us and the discussions that we've had here in Augusta, we think this is a very good thing. You'll see under tab 5, we've provided a series of questions and answers that you may be able to, in your packet, which will give an overview. But here are the basics. We would plan to launch this project on February 1st of 2013. I want to stress also that it would be a pilot project. This would be a project in 2013 during the legislative session, these first 6 months of 2013, where we would test the idea. Really, it's sort of a proof of performance, if you will, where we would see how this works. It would be a limited schedule. It's important also to note that MPBN would underwrite the cost of this, and there would be no extra cost or fees or services that would involve taxpayer dollars. We would broadcast this on an MPBN dedicated channel over the air, so it would be available free to all Mainers. So a school and a classroom in any one of the counties far away, close by, teachers could tune in the middle of the day without cable access, and they would be able to watch this. They would be able to watch the House, they'd be able to watch the Senate, they'd be able to watch the Appropriations Committee, they'd be able to watch selected press conferences. And we assume that this would be picked up by Time Warner and the other cable channels, but we're not guaranteeing that or promising that at this point. If you give the go-ahead a thumbs up, we would begin discussions with them as well. But the initial distribution, we think the widest and the most accessible access would be anyone with a pair of rabbit ears and a digital television, a new television. And that's a very low barrier to entry, we think, to watch what's going on in the State House. You don't need internet access. You don't need to have a cable plan to get access to it. I'm also pleased to announce that Mal Leary is going to be our managing editor for this project. Mal is here today, and if there's any questions, Mal could also answer these questions. He's been thinking about this for a long time, and as you know, an experienced journalist here in Augusta. The cost for the pilot is between $250,000 and $300,000. That's money that we will seek and look for in underwriting and private support. As I said, it's our test year, and in addition to that, I wanted to let you know that our board of directors is solidly behind this project. The board of trustees of MPBN, and our vice chair of the board is Carl Turner, and as a former legislator, Senator Turner is here today if you want to ask any questions of him about the board's role for this State House channel. At that point, I'll take questions.
Are there any questions from the council? Senator Goodall.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you very much for the proposal. You mentioned working with other potential providers in order to make sure that there might be greater dissemination of the product that MPBN is discussing at this time. Have you had those discussions with other potential providers?
We have not. We want to make sure that we follow protocol, and it's challenging enough to sort of to make sure that first of all, you all get first crack at that, and we haven't done anything beyond that.
Would you be adverse to working with them to make sure that we have greater access to the State House, and potentially having some of the main span, if we decide to go forward, shown on their channels.
Absolutely, the State House channel would be something that we would love to see on statewide cable as well. No question about it.
Representative Fredette.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, Mr. Speaker, and good to see you again. Just wearing my appropriations hat from last session, I guess my only concern is that in approving this, and as I say the price tag was somewhere between $250,000 and $300,000, this is not something you would be looking for any sort of annual appropriation or biannual budget baseline in the future. Is that what you're saying?
I'm not saying that at all. I don't know exactly how it will be funded in the future. Our board has given us a 6-month trial period to test it out to see what the costs are. There's a number of states who have this kind of broadcast, and it could be such that it would be an independent, continue to be an independent 501c3 MPBN sponsored project. It could be that very much in the fee-for-service category that we discussed last year at appropriations. But beyond this year, Representative, no, there's no plans for, there's no, we don't have those little things worked out.
If I may.
Yes.
So I just sort of want to be clear then that in authorizing sort of this initial startup, and 6 months it sounds like,
This first legislative session.
What I'm hearing you say, I think, is that there's not necessarily a plan in place for how this will continue to get funded beyond this initial startup.
That's correct.
And it does extend to the possibility that this may in fact become a request in the biennial budget at a future date.
That's a possibility as well. Right.
And so I guess my question to the chair might be, or at least a thought process here in terms of the ongoing discussion, that as we engage in this, that we not commit the appropriation down the road in terms of this, but it's viewed as a 6-month pilot project.
And that's what we're stating up front. We want to be very clear that this is a pilot and it's up front of the State House channel.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to make a motion that the Legislative Council establish a subcommittee for the purpose of entering into a 6-month pilot program with Maine Public Broadcasting Network for a free over-the-air channel devoted to covering the Maine legislature beginning in early 2013. Further, that the chair of the Legislative Council be authorized to appoint the members of the subcommittee, and further, the subcommittee shall review the proposal by MPBN and make recommendations to the Legislative Council as to appropriate conditions and protocols for a pilot program.
Motion's been made. Is there a second? Second by Representative Berry. Discussion. Senator Goodall.
I'm not sure if this is you, Mr. Speaker, or the President, but since you made the motion, Mr. President, would you be willing to have that subcommittee entertain all other ideas and potential proposals for other people that are interested in meeting other providers to incorporate them in the discussion to a certain extent?
Thanks for the question. Whoever the chair puts on the subcommittee, I would assume they'll have the latitude to look at all opportunities to make sure that this pilot program is seen by as many Mainers as possible.
It's my understanding as well, in terms of the logic around the subcommittee, was to make sure that we're ironing out all the details so that we're clear on expectations, whether it's funding or who owns the content or who are the other partners and players in this, that we can kind of flesh this out a little bit more before we make a firm commitment. But I think what you have heard from myself and others is a commitment to bring greater transparency to the State House and allow people in the living room to see what we do up here. People often ask me back home, what do you do up there? So I turn on the channel and take a peek. So I think in spirit, we certainly support the idea we need to be able to answer all the questions, to be able to make this function. Okay, the motion's been made in a second. Is there any other discussion?
I guess one
Representative Wade.
Just quickly, not knowing if I'll be on the committee or not, I would hope that in the plan where it talks about the full legislative session for 4 or 5 hours a day, when the evening rebroadcast, and then also select committee hearings, press conferences, that when we're referring bills and it's relatively boring, there's not a lot of interesting debate, that perhaps the committee hearings, which are very important at that early stage in the session, are where the focus is. And obviously, we'll make great decisions, and I just want to make sure that the things that are most likely to interest the public, that are most likely to really bring the true business of the House and Senate are what people get to see. I think this is exciting. Really looking forward to seeing how it goes, and thank you for bringing it forward.
I'd be happy to. The challenge that we'll have, of course, is that we would use the existing feed, the video feed, which is only right now in the House and the Senate. So in order to cover any additional hearings, we'll have to have cameras and equipment people to do that. So that's the balancing act in a pilot year to test it. But I think we can work that out and demonstrate and show the committee and the subcommittee specifically, we can get into details about how that would work. But we're excited about it as well, and I can assure you that our board as well is supportive of this motion.
Representative Fredette.
I just want to make sure this is not going to interrupt high school basketball tournaments. There is a priority in there.
I couldn't say that it might move to a different channel at certain times. Yes, I understand.
That could cost my support.
Thank you.
Senator Jackson.
Thanks, Speaker. I'm very excited about this too, as I've told you. A lot of people in my area depend on being public, and I think for many of us on council, we're very excited about this project down here.
Any other discussion? All those in favor? All those opposed?